Hey, what's going on there, fellas?
What's
What
up?
is up?
All right, we are in the house.
Yes, sir.
We are.
All right, we're
We are.
here. Welcome to Damn Good
Lot
Dogs. You see
to
the
discuss.
show, and you see Bone, and I'm Mr. 411. So we're gonna review the Auburn thriller, and preview the upcoming matchup this week too, and we'll also talk about a Bulldog that uh, definitely should be in the Heisman race. So we got a lot to get into today, gentlemen.
Yes,
We
sir.
do.
Excited for it, man. This weekend
It's
was a
gonna be
little
a good one.
scarier than it needed to be.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, definitely got to get your take on that. So let's get ready to do this thing. All right. The Dogs in the thriller over the Tigers out there on the plains. Man, we talked about a point spread. And man, boy, this game was tight. So, gentlemen, I'm going to let you dive in there and give your thoughts on the matchup from this past weekend.
Yeah. We get the close win. Another second half comeback. Don't want to give too much away, so let's just jump. Let's jump right in the first half here. Um, right away, kind of the theme of this game to me happens in the very first drive for Auburn. 61-yard run on the QB keeper around the corner on the edge sets up the field goal. Kind of running through the first half here. Quarterback throws an interception, sets up a short field. Auburn has a couple of nice little runs by Hunter, including a 5-yard TD run. So they jump out 10-0. Muse gives us a big return. Dylan Bell has a couple of nice runs, and Dejon Edwards caps it off with a 2-yard run. So back to 10-7 Auburn. And then Marcus Rogers, Jack Saint has got a long completion to him, set up a field goal there. So that's basically the scoring, and we end the half tied 10-10. What you got, Bone? What stands out?
What stood out is starting out 10-0 again. I mean, coming out to a slow start once again to start the game. Beck had 77 yards passing in the first half. Bowers had 9 yards receiving in the first half. Um, I did love Beck's pass, man, when he got clocked by a linebacker blitz and
Yep.
got rid of it to I think it was Rosemary St. Jackson, I believe. But yeah, so that was an incredible pass. Uh, Big fourth down stop at the end of the first half. But once again, it's just that slow start. Got down in a big hole at the beginning, and we kind of clawed our way back in that second quarter with 10 points, but man, it was a little scary, a little iffy. As a Georgia fan right there.
Yeah. I mean, Beck's interception was not a good throw, but that was a hell of a play by Jalen Simpson there from the Auburn secondary. I thought that was just a more so than a Beck mistake was just a great play.
I
Um,
got no problem with that pick. I want him to throw that ball every time. Like no problem with it at all. Like Beck, although he got out to a little bit of a slow start, man, I thought he had a fantastic game, and we'll get to that later. But yeah, um, I thought he stood in the pocket and showed a lot of poise out there playing on his first SEC road game.
yeah, like you said, his decision making has gotten better, especially when it comes to throwing the ball away, recognizing when pressure's coming and getting it all quick. That pass you mentioned that stood out to me as well. Another thing that stood out um, on the first TD drive by Auburn, we just that pass interference call. I didn't see much there.
Yeah.
I know the defender had his back turned, which is, you know, sometimes that's all they need to throw a flag. But that was I didn't think that was a good call, and that set up their touchdown. So
Yeah, that was a third down play, I believe, and the flag came in a little late, and I didn't think it was much of anything either. I don't even know the guy could have caught the pass if it had happened. So yeah, I thought it was not a great call either.
Yeah. The last thing I'll mention here about this first half, uh, Hugh Freeze, number one team in the nation, kick the field goal, take the lead, right? I don't understand the logic there. You don't, again, all the passing game for Auburn is non-existent. Take the field goal.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I don't know. I mean, I guess at home and you're the big underdog, you're more likely to take the risks. But yeah, I agree as well. Like take the field goal. We got that big fourth down stop was huge. Kirby talked about it in the press conference after the game that every week he gets every SEC 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 in a reel that's ready for him, and he watches every one of them. And he said, when you watch those every week, you would be amazed how many don't get them. He's like, it's not as easy in the SEC as you would think it is. So it's a tough thing to get. We played discipline there. We got the stop. So yeah, it's a big stop for us.
Yeah.
So you want to run into the second half a little bit?
I'm ready. 4-1. You got anything on the first half? Yeah, I'll try to make it a drive.
I think you're muted, brother.
Oh yeah, okay. Just about the slow start again. Is there any way to pinpoint that? I mean, what is happening there?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. It seems like to me the biggest thing we didn't really the second half defensive adjustments honestly didn't come like they usually have. Usually it's been these offenses getting off to good starts and this UGA defense making second half adjustments. I think this one was all about the turnover,
Yeah,
giving them the short field to an offense that can't throw the ball. That was huge. And then, like I said, the penalty. I thought the penalty was huge. So those two things right there. And like if the theme, a theme of this game, and we'll keep talking about this, is these outside runs, and specifically by the quarterbacks. We just did not set the edge at all. And on the quarterback, on the or the all POs, we crashed the middle, which is another factor. So again, those outside runs killed us. So that was the reason for the slow start. I don't think it really correlates to the other slow starts, to be honest with you.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Conway has a comment out here too, gentlemen.
I mean, another thing that I mean,
You got bad connection there.
Oh, run that back again, Bone.
the only other thing I would say, on the slow start is, I mean, we're basically, playing every team Super Bowl every week. So I think
Yeah,
they're
that's a
going to
good
come out
point.
hot. They're going to come out fired up, and that's something we got to be ready for every week.
Yeah, that's part of being number one. But yeah, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right about that.
I didn't like. Yeah, to go back to Charles Conway's comment on the button. I didn't like the play calling on that final drive, and then we get a stop, and he uses more timeouts to try to set up the punt block. But but I've generally been satisfied with Bobo's play calling. But yeah, that final drive there, I didn't think we weren't aggressive enough.
So yeah. All right, thank you, Charles Conway, for your question. And Turnbow also has one right here. Probably we didn't already turn it over twice at that point. So that's his
Yeah,
comment there.
I think the Beck interception scared him a little bit. I didn't think he wanted to give this team any more momentum than it already has. Get out of the first half with a 10-10 tie. So yeah, I think we went a little conservative there. Maybe a little scared of the interception there. Um,
Yeah. All right. Well, Turnbow, we appreciate that as well. Did you want to? Oh, there's Bone. You had something you want to chime in with, Bone?
This Yeah, this hotel internet is getting me, so I switched over to the personal hotspot. So hopefully we're good now. But yeah, I think that's probably Charlie had a good question there with 112 left with 3 turnovers. I think you're on the road, you get out of there with a tie game, and you're getting the ball back in the second half, and I think that's what we were looking at, even though we gave it away immediately.
All right, and then did you catch what Turnbow had?
Yeah, I think it's probably not a bad point. Like you get back to the locker room, you regroup, and you do those famous Kirby second half adjustments and get ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And now knowing what the result is, I mean, I guess that was a good decision now. When you look back at it, not to you don't want to beat yourself, especially when you have teams, as you guys said, like there's a target on the dog's back every week. And by the way, it's not easy playing in Auburn either. You know what I'm saying? So it's never easy. And then we talked about it last week with this being a long term rival, a long time rival, and things like that. So you have to just take all that into account. All right. So that's any more you want to add to the game?
No, that's another thing we did a good job recapping this first half. Let's get into the second half. Immediately we come out, Oscar Depp fumbles. We give AU another short field. This was the Robbie Ashford series. Had an 18-yard run and then a 5-yard TD run to make it 10-17. Auburn has another drive going, but Smile London gets a huge sack and knocks them out of field goal range. Um, so then from there, Edwards, this is an important drive, I thought. From our own two, Edwards has a huge 18-yard run. Bowers finally gets it going with a 29-yard catch. And then Edwards another big run of 13 yards, and we tie it at 17-17. So from here on, that was kind of the big catch that kind of sparked Bowers from there. After that, it was another Bowers drive, a 37-yarder, a 28-yarder on 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8, and then we kick a 38-yard field goal. That gets us to 2017. They come right back on really a drive that was fueled by a pass interference call. That was their longest play. Tyke Smith got a pass interference call. They had the longest play was 11 yards, so the pass interference basically sparked that, and they tied up 2020 with a 42-yard field goal. And then to cap it off, the touchdown to take the lead. Brisbane Jack Saint has a nice 18-yard catch. Bowers a 16-yarder on 3rd and 12, maybe the play of the game. And then inexplicably, Auburn just lets Bowers run free for a 40-yard TD.
It was so weird watching that, dude. It was so weird. Like it was like they were letting him score almost at the end. They did some shitty arm tackles that they tried, and that was a weird one. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. We get a knockout Starks gets a late interception to seal the game, and we take the 27-20 lead. Obviously, Bowers, 8 receptions, 157 yards, and a TD. Maybe a more impressive stat, he had 79 yards after catch.
Yeah.
So that's ridiculous. He was amazing, obviously, and he was the main reason we won the game. Beck really settled down and had a nice game, 23 to 33, 313 yards, 313 yards to TD, and obviously the interception, which we both think not really on him. Edwards, 19 carries, 76 yards, 2 TDs. Like I said, some huge runs there throughout the game. So thoughts on this offense?
Well, just real quick on the second half, you mentioned several Brock stats, but the one that really stood out for me was 4 catches for 121 yards just in the fourth quarter. That's we talk about these Kirby adjustments every week. And last thing for me really on the second half is the adjustment we made was let's make our star player win this game for us. Let's get him the ball. And we got him the ball. He did what he did. He put a team on his shoulders. And, Georgia's not been a team under this Kirby era that relies on one offensive player to carry them when they're down. Like, we just haven't done a lot of that. We've always been a very ensemble team. And I think we realized in this game it's time to let Brock do what Brock does, and it worked.
Yeah, something I'll mention. I've said it before on this show. We have a lot of skill positions on the edge, um, and I think that prevents teams from double teaming Bowers. I think they respect our pieces, our receivers, especially with McConkey back. Didn't make a huge impact. It makes some big third down
Yes, he
catches.
did.
So he didn't have the numbers, but he did make some big catches there, and that's all I'm going to add. I just don't. It's going to be hard for these teams to double. It's going to be hard for these teams to double Bowers with all we have on the edge and Lovett and Jack Saint and Robert Thomas and McConkey. That's a lot. So you're doubling Bowers. These guys are more than capable of beating you.
And the other side to that is you can't, if you decide to blitz this team, with all those weapons out there, I mean, we're really making them make a hard decision. You either bring the pressure or you don't. So as Carson gets more comfortable and gets better every week, they've got to make that decision if they're going to let Carson try to beat them with time. And I think Carson's getting to the point, if you give him time, he's going to be very dangerous.
Yeah, good segue here. I got a good Carson stat. Got a good Carson back stat. Third down. On third down, he's 25 of 35. 295 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. He's converted 19 of those. I talked about earlier in the season, my worry was, is he going to be clutch? And so far, he has been clutch. The other thing I'll point out about this offense, and we can switch to the defense here, UGA's passing on first down, 83 of 165. 83 of the 165, they pass it on first down. This is not your typical running team. They pass to set up the run. And we've talked, the skill position players on the outside are the strength of this team. Dejon Edwards is a nice running back, but we pass to set up the run. And I think you're seeing that come to fruition. As we get into the season, we are a throwing team. That is our strength.
A couple of quick things I have on the offense, and we'll move to the defense. We were 8 of 13 on third down. I think Brooks kind of touched on that. It was clutch. 313 yards passing against a SEC defense on the road. That's never a bad thing. Bowers had 157 of them. And no procedural penalties. So this is a quarterback that's never played on the road in the SEC. We didn't have one false start. We didn't have one guy not on the line right. He was a field general that whole game, and really, really handled it well. And that was a big thing. We talked about it last week. We wanted to see what he looked like on the road, how he handled 87,000 or whatever it is, 83 at Auburn, and I thought he handled it pretty damn well. Defense, Brooks, what you got, brother?
You want to give our grades for the offense first before we move on?
Oh yeah, I'll give. I got my grade. I gave it a B minus. I thought we started super slow. I mean, if it was just the second half, it would have been a different grade. But instead of B minus, only 107 yards rushing, which is a little low for us. We really had to rely on Brock there at the end. But yeah, B minus.
Yeah, I'm in that B minus range too. I'll go B minus because of the turnovers. Even though it seemed like we ran for more than we did, actually. I'm not sure that happens. But yeah, I'll go B minus. The turnovers. I'm pleased with the passing game. But yeah, we can't have the turnovers. So I got some stats here for the defense. Let's start with this. First time since LSU in 2018 have we allowed a 200-yard team to run for 200 yards on us. That's not good. And the other thing I'll point out, and again, this was a theme of the game, AU on their edge runs, 16 rushes for 173 yards.
Wow, that's wow.
Like,
That's a lot, man.
and it was one of the things I just kept noticing. I'm like, they're getting nothing up the middle. And every time on the outside, we were taking – it was a combination of things. They were blocking it good. We were taking some really bad angles. When we had those one-on-one matchups to get the tackle, bad angles, and then just bad on especially the run pass options, bad discipline, crashing to the middle and allowing those quarterbacks to get on the outside. Um, and Thorne's not really a runner either, which is the other thing. He had 92 rush yards. Um, so yeah, that defense, which we always think of it as a strength, it wasn't particularly sharp against Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, I think the negative is obviously the 219 rushing yards. The stat I read was 2016, the most since 2016, but 5.1 yards per rushing attempt, too many.
Fucking Seth Emerson.
Yeah, the positive, we held them to two for 12 on third down. That was to me the biggest positive of our defense. There was a lot of negative. I mean, Kirby said when he watched the film, it wasn't as bad as he thought it was. We were facing, they copied a lot of stuff that you talked about from UAB last week. Their offense that was going to run plays very differently than what we're going to probably see the rest of the year because they were so reliant on that run game versus the passing game. So it was a little bit of a gimmicky RPO kind of offense that they were running. But the missed tackles again, I saw missed tackles again. That's something I haven't seen a lot in the Kirby era, something that scared me a little bit. But yeah, overall, it wasn't a great defensive effort, but we got it done in the second half where it mattered and kind of made it happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to give this defense. Our pressure wasn't bad. We had 3 sacks. Still running up the middle, like we were solid up the middle, except for there was a couple runs here and there. But for the most part, we were solid up the middle. Pass defense, again, I think Thorne had 82 yards passing. The pass defense was good to great. But again, that run defense, when a team's so one dimensional and you can't stop that one dimension, that says something to me. I'm gonna give this defense a C.
I also gave them a C. So we're. What did you give the offense? A B or a B minus?
I was a little more up on the offense than you were. I'm gonna go B.
All right, so I had B minus on offense. Both had C on defense. Going in real well to answer David's question.
Your boy. You don't want to talk about your boy, Woodridge?
No, we gotta answer. So Dave commented on the defense here. Let's talk about that. Linebackers. This is something I really thought about, so I think that's a great question. Top 4 linebackers. I don't know that I can name you our top 4 in any kind of order, but what I will comment on that is I think Small London is starting to come on as possibly a playmaker on defense at that linebacker position that I think might start making moves as the year goes on. He's getting his reps in. He's been hurt a lot, so I think he's a guy that's starting to make those moves. Outside of that, I haven't seen anyone that's blown me away in any hard way. But Dumas Johnson, he's a guy we expected a lot of to start the year. Chambliss, definitely expected a little more than we've seen out of him. So yeah, you got anything on that, Brooks?
London and Dumas Johnson obviously are the one. London's been all over the field. He's our top tackler. I like him in pass rush situations. Xavier Sori had a sack. I like his speed from the linebacker position, rushing the quarterback. Yeah, I don't know about Chambliss. He's just I don't know what to say. I don't, especially like coverage situations. I don't think he has the speed.
Yeah.
So yeah, Smile London to me is standing out. Clearly, I think he's our best linebacker right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I still like Dumas Johnson. So.
All right. That's a big shout out for David with the questions there, talking about the defense. And so, defense wins championships, no matter how
So I
you
think
look at it.
our last little grade here was special teams, and like you were talking about, our boy Woodring, man, 2 for 2, kicking field goals, yeah, coming through, man. One thing Kirby brought up in the press conference is that he was a pitcher And he loved that. He loves that in kickers because they have to stand on the mound, pitch those strikes, and all the emphasis is on them. So he looked really good. I mean, I give our special teams an A-minus. The only reason Muse fumbled again, he's been a little fumbly with the ball. He did have a 41-yard kick return. Luckily, we got that back. We had a punt inside the 20. The punting game looked good. So I went A-minus on the special teams just for Muse fumble. That's the only thing that knocked him down.
Yeah, I was really happy to see Woodridge come out and, and have a clean slate. He's 6 for 9 now on field goal attempts. Still hasn't missed an extra point, so that's good. I think Thorson's one of the top punters in the country. I love him. He's averaging 44 yards a punt. And
Averaged
he can
46 yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, and he can really pin you deep. His punts are – he's really good at kicking that angle kick and putting it out of bounds. So, yeah, I was impressed. Good bounce back game for our field goal kicker. So, yeah, A-minus seems pretty appropriate to me.
Okay.
I think
We got to talk
last.
about. You got to talk.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead, Bone, and then we'll get to the coaching grades.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go. Yeah, man. So you're exactly right. I thought the coaching. You know, the slow start is the only thing I have with coaching right now. You know, and I think I don't know how much that's coaching or how much it isn't. I don't know how much it is. You know, getting the guys up for the game. Like I said earlier, is it a result of being everyone's Super Bowl team and they come out, you know, hot? But once again, we came out in the second half. We outscored Auburn 27-10 in the last three quarters. One thing that was interesting to me is Kirby after the game has said, or maybe the press conference for this week is, right now we don't have disruptive people, was his quote on the line of scrimmage on defense, and that's something that is causing, I think, a little concern among the Georgia faithful. But I think offensively, I think we're all pretty happy with how Bobo called the game. I think defensively, we got it done in the end. So I would give coaching a B. I thought it was, we got it done. We won a game on the road in the SEC, which is tough to do.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Bobo's play calling these past couple games. I think he's really in a rhythm with Beck. Beck seems comfortable back there. The OU defense didn't have any sacks. And I attributed some of it into the balance of that Bobo play calling, run pass balance that he's trying. I know he says we pass the run, but we still have a pretty good mix. And we do a lot of short passing too, and it's basically run. So I think that kind of keeps the pass rush at bay. I attribute a little bit of that to Bobo. And like I said, I look how comfortable Carson Beck is behind the center, and I attribute that also to Bobo. The defense. I think Kirby Smart had them prepared, and I just think we just didn't execute. So I don't know how much of that is going to fall on coaching there, because like you said, they knew they were going to take some things from UAB. It was said after it was said post game. So I don't know how much that was coaching. I think that was just execution. So overall, I think the coaching was solid. I don't think the defensive mishaps fall on the coach. I still think our secondary is strong. I think Malachi Starks is great. And I think we can get pressure when we need to. So I'm right in line there. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go B+, just on the strength of Bobo's play calling.
Okay, those sound like very fair grades, gentlemen. And you definitely broke that down for everybody. And so, any closing remarks on this matchup before we preview the next game?
The one thing I'll say is it's not sustainable to keep getting down and having to mount the comebacks. That's not a sustainable game plan. So there's going to be a game, if they keep doing this, there's going to be a game where they get down too big and they're not going to be able to claw themselves back. That's the only thing that worries me. These slow starts, I'm afraid these slow starts are going to catch up to us.
All
I
right.
think
Well, we got to see.
I think
We would definitely, with the
I think Bone
upcoming
would agree.
opponent. Oh, what'd you say there?
I said I think Bone would agree.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm certain he would. But yes, with that said though, the upcoming opponent is Kentucky Wildcats, and the point spread is not nearly as wide as it was for the Auburn matchup. Kentucky ran the ball well, against the Gators. They were very impressive on the run. I was watching them last week, and
Yep.
I'm just curious about, you mentioned the rushing yards that was allowed by the Dogs this weekend, mainly around the edges though, and probably because of the scheme. The quarterback pretty much running most of the time, but it was not a traditional type running game. But
Yep.
I guess that comes into play with this upcoming matchup with Kentucky. I guess, right?
Yeah, we'll see. This Ray Davis guy, I watched him Florida. I watched him against the Florida game, man. In the Florida game, he just popped off the screen. His cuts, just an explosive running back. He's got 594 yards, 8 TDs so far this season. So he's gonna be who we game plan to stop. Um, their quarterback Devin Leary is not mobile, so we don't have to worry about the run pass option. A look that Auburn was giving us. Um, so, but can we stop? I mean, this is an elite running guy. This is an elite running back. Can we stop him? I think it's going to be a good challenge. I will preface by saying Kentucky has played Ball State, Eastern Kentucky, Akron, Vandy, and then the nice win over Florida. So, no, that 5-0. Let's take that 5-0 with a little grain of salt here.
Yeah.
Devin Leary, their quarterback's completing 58%. He's got
Right.
1,100 yards, 10 TDs, 5 interceptions. Their leading receiver, uh, Tavion Robinson, 19 receptions, 308 yards, 3 TDs. So they rely on this run game. So it'll be a good challenge. I'm sure they're going to scheme. I'm sure they're going to try to exploit what Auburn exploited on the outside. I don't think they can do it quite like Auburn can, but they're going to try to. So I expect this is a good challenge to see again. Uh, I don't think this team is one dimensional as Auburn, so I think they are going to their passing game. We're going to have to give a little bit more respect to their pass game. So we'll see. I think it's a good challenge for this defense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of what you said. I mean, Ray Davis, it's going to be interesting to see what we can do against him. That's going to be the game plan, I think, is to shut him down. This is, in my opinion, the first two-dimensional offense we played this year. So they do have a running game. They do have a passing game. Like Brooks said, they haven't played much of anyone, but they're going to come in fired up, man. I mean, Kentucky every year. This has been, the hump they haven't been able to get over a couple of times over the last 5 years to try to make it into that SEC championship. Um, I think Georgia definitely has an advantage at quarterback. I think Georgia has an advantage on the defense, even though we haven't necessarily proved it yet. And they have an advantage in the running game. But we are at home. It's going to be a raucous crowd at 7 o'clock in Sanford Stadium. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
have a couple of drinks under their belt, so it's going to be a fun time. And it'll be interesting to see how we play against a balanced team. It'll be interesting to see who actually Kentucky is, because, like you said, they beat Florida, and we keep talking about that being a nice win. Florida might very well be the second worst team in the SEC East, and
Mm.
they might also be firing their coach after this year. So, I mean, I think Florida has not lived up to their expectations, and we'll see at the end of the year, but I don't know if that win over Florida is going to look all that great by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I mean,
Florida's been Jekyll and Hyde for sure.
yes, they definitely have. If you watch them against Utah, what I mean, and then watch them, against Tennessee, you're like, okay, what? I mean, it's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Look,
All
I'll
right,
say this.
David.
I don't even know what I don't even know what the final score of that Kentucky game was, but it was not. It wasn't as close as the final score indicated. Kentucky absolutely dominated them.
Oh, David coming with some thunder here. How much has our sloppy offseason turned into sloppy preparations? Is this team soft, gentlemen?
Mm.
I think I think it was a sloppy offseason. I think we're experiencing a bit of a hangover this year after two straight natties, which is weird. You would think it would be after kind of the first one, but um, according to Kirby, this team isn't soft. This team plays together. They get it done when it's needed. He seems to be very, happy with the team and thinks it's got what it takes. But yeah, it was a rough offseason. You talk about distractions. There were a ton. I mean, there were a ton. And I don't think that's a bad point, but I don't think we'll know. We got 4 top 25 teams coming up in the next, 6 weeks or so. So, I mean, we're going to learn a lot about this team real quick. We got this week, and then we got Vanderbilt, and then after that, it kind of kicks into gear. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, new offensive coordinator, new quarterback. So I think there was going to be some adjustment, and I'm high on this offense right now. I think I like what I'm seeing in Carson Beck, and I like what I'm seeing in Bobo's play calling. So I'm high on the offense. I mean, I think just because Georgia recruits at a level that we recruit, that doesn't mean you could just have a Jordan Davis or a Jalen Carter every year, though. I'll throw that out there. Like, we recruit at a high level, but those two guys were special.
Yeah.
So let's not negate, like, you're not just popping out Jordan Davises and Jalen Carters every season.
Yeah.
So I'll preface that. We definitely don't have that dominant interior lineman that we had. And I think that's the biggest problem right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, those are 1%ers right there.
Yeah.
So, you rarely find those guys. But yeah, those are good points, gentlemen. What we're doing, and as we, continue to build more traction on this, if you have your prediction, we have the spread, right? We'll let the show let us know what the official spread is. But right now it's looking like 14.5. Do you agree with that much with that?
It's 14 and a half. I I'm not sure if it'll go up or down. I think it stays at 14 and a half. What you think?
Okay.
Yeah, I think 14 and a half.
All right. So, gentlemen, are we gonna kick this off now and give it a get the traction going on and give our prediction on whether well definitely who wins and then do they cover or not, and then we can kind of add on to it as we go along. Because if anybody's out there, they can put it in the comment section what their prediction is, and also put who's going to win. Also put uh if they're going to cover because we're going to add all this stuff up along the way, and the winner is going to end up with something nice. So join in with us. All right, I'm gonna pass
Love
it
it.
back to you guys so we can get our picks in.
All right, so I'm going to go with the spread here. So Georgia has 0 wins against the spread this season. We're 0-3-1 when playing with as at least a 14.5 point favorite. So we haven't covered yet. We're the big favorite. Um, I think this is the week we do it. So I think this is the week we cover the spread. Um, I think Georgia comes out ready to go. I've said it every week that this is going to be the week we bust it out. But I think we win it 34-17. I think we cover the spread. I think we cover the over/under, which is set at 49. And yeah, we can't go winless against the spread this year, right?
Here's what I'll say. I think some of the stats that we've given about this UGA defense, the edge rushing yards, the giving up a 200-yard rusher, Kirby's gonna. You don't think Kirby is gonna find a way to motivate these guys with that information? He's a master motivator. He's gonna put this. He's gonna be like they think. He's gonna put the Ray Davis. He's gonna challenge them to stop one of the best running backs in the nation, and I think they're gonna be up to the challenge. I think UGA wins 31-14, barely gets the cover.
Oh wow, okay, all right. And 4-1's going with 33-11. So there you go.
I
Nice.
like it. I like it. Hey, I got one little fact for David, who's Mr. Recruiting, our buddy.
Recruiting
Five
corner.
star 5-star receiver Ryan Williams, a Bama commit, junior this year. He's coming to UGA this weekend for the game. So I think he picked a good one to come to. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere. He's going to see the lights come down at Sanford, and I think he flips over to UGA after that, man. Doesn't get any prettier than that.
Yeah.
That's pretty. That's some pretty red right there, gentlemen. All right, look, David actually did what you said, Bone. He has 31-24, so he does not have the cover. He has the win, but not the cover. All right, so David's going against the grain here, and he's looking to try to get an early lead in our series picks.
I think the win without the cover is pretty. That's pretty on par for the season so far. So that's probably the better bet.
Yeah, I mean, we'll know when the game start, right? What kind of if Georgia's going to jump out, or is it going to be one of those slow starts that's been the trend this year? So we'll see what happens. All right. Well, we appreciate that, David. Oh, he also a big recruit. So yeah, David, he's out there doing his thing here. Appreciate you, David. All right, gentlemen, we have one more topic that we need to cover. And before we do that, we're gonna let this video play and then we'll tackle it and then we'll be out of here.
All right.
So it's coming up in just a second.
Brock Bowers is incredible. We definitely need to talk more about how he should be getting Heisman consideration. He caught 8 passes for 157 yards against Auburn, including the game-winning touchdown to keep Georgia undefeated. He had 148 yards in the second half, but the real key here is that 121 of those were in the fourth quarter. He absolutely willed Georgia to the win. We knew he was a lock for the draft, but if he continues to dominate like this, there's no reason he shouldn't get Heisman votes.
I like it.
All right, he definitely Brock Bowers definitely dominated. He definitely stepped up big when the chips were down, and Georgia definitely relied on their superstar tight end. A lot of people, I mean, obviously have him high in the draft, and I want to get you guys' take on this. For not only should he get votes for the Heisman, but do you all think he will win the Heisman this year?
I think it's an uphill battle to win it as a tight end, but do I think he's the best player in college football? Absolutely. And I think if we run the table, if he's the best player on the best team in college football, I think he needs another 3 or 4 games with 150 plus yards or 2+ touchdowns to get him really in that running to actually win it. I mean, I think the way it's setting up right now, he's going to be invited to New York. If they still do it in New York, I don't know. I think they do. But he's got 413 yards receiving right now. Hopefully they let him pad some stats against Vandy. If he gets a couple more big games with 150 plus yards, plus a big showing in the SEC title game. I mean, Greg
Hmm.
McElroy, who's calling the game this week, was talking up Brock, on his podcast this week, just saying, how outstanding he was, how uncoverable he was. The media is starting to come to his side. I'm calling for a Brocktober that he dominates this month. He ends it with a Florida game where he pops the squad all over him. So yeah, Brock Bowers for Heisman. I'm in it.
Hey, Brocktober, I like that. You can get some t-shirts made right there.
A couple notes here. He had an insane one hand catch get called back by a penalty, by the way, in that game. Um, so, but he's also he's a complete player. He can play. He's a hell of a blocker too.
Yeah.
And he can take the rock from the running back position as well. The thing about him is that you watch him and if he's got a one-on-one matchup, like I just don't think anybody can take this guy down one-on-one. That's the crazy thing to me. Like you have to game tackle this man, and he's been incredible these last 2 games. I think in order for UGA to keep winning, he's going to have to stay. he's going to have to keep putting up these type of performances. Um, but yeah, it's hard to win as a tight end. One thing he may have going for him is that giving back-to-back Heisman's to Caleb Williams. There's only one person that's done that, so maybe there'll be some anti-Caleb giving Caleb Williams back-to-back. But I don't think he wins, but I think he gets to New York.
Well, yeah, getting to New York is a great thing. I mean, that's part of winning it too, because not everybody's going to win the Heisman. And let's face it, in the college game, it's not like the NFL schedule where you're pretty much playing a big bulk of the league. You know what I mean? It's like everybody has these different schedules. You don't see opponents like USC and Georgia. They may or may not play each other. If they do, it's going to be after the fact. You know what I mean? So I like some things that you all throwing out there about this. I do think he has the type of schedule, type of league, type of places to have those moments, where the games probably mean, something there. I know in the Pac-12 or the Pac-2, there's a lot of teams that are ranked, and so Caleb Williams can probably stack up a lot of numbers there. You know what I mean? And get the style points. So it definitely would be hard for a tight end to get it, but you have to have monster numbers throughout the whole year, and some extra hype like the Rocktober t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So, but we'll see what happens. He's definitely a candidate.
Yes,
Definitely a
sir.
force to be reckoned with.
Can't wait till the Falcons draft him inexplicably in the first round.
I think there needs to be something said for, I mean, his career, dude. I mean, a lot of times the Heisman does kind of pay attention to your whole career, not just this one year. I mean, he's been the best offensive player if Georgia makes a run this year, 2 years in a row on the best team in the country, and
Mm,
I think
yep.
that there's something to be said for that. So, I mean, um, he does it all. He's getting the recognition even more nationally right now. We got, like I said, 4 top 25 games coming up in the next few weeks. So he's gonna be in the spotlight. Georgia wasn't in the spotlight the first few games of the year. We were, not on the CBS game. We weren't on this and that. So like now we're starting to get there, and I think he's ready to go.
Okay, we'll see. And right now on the TikTok page, the percentages is around 38% saying yes. And again, is not a Georgia-based voting system right now. So, we'll let it run a little longer, and we'll update that as we go along. But we did get this up there this evening, and we'll see. But I think he's on track, and saying those wins keep piling on, the numbers pile up. Hey, that's all you can do. So
What's
definitely a great player.
I will say the one thing, not just the numbers, but to make a game-winning touchdown and a 3:30
Yeah,
CBS
moments.
game, that's big. That's big for his candidacy. Gets people talking. I mean, plays like that can put you on the map. So if he keeps making, he's known to be clutch. So he keeps making plays like that. That'll help him.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Well, make sure we share the episode, get some more votes, predictions in. You still have time to get your predictions in. We'll let that, we'll check the comment section every day, and then we'll tally all that stuff up. Brooks is very good at that, and so we'll definitely keep track of all that and see who's leading each week because we definitely have something. There is a prize coming. I just haven't announced it yet of what it is and who's bringing that along for us, but it's a good one. So if you love the dogs, you definitely want to be a part of this competition. All right, gentlemen, closing remarks, and then we out of here.
No, I mentioned this earlier. I don't think the Dogs can keep sustaining this slow start, come back in the second half, these type of games. So I'm looking at this Kentucky game to be limit your turnovers, stop turning the ball over, stop being sloppy in the first half. Let's play a more complete game. That's what I want out of the Dogs. I want their run defense to shore up a little bit, especially on the edges. Um, that's what I'll be looking out for. And I'll be looking out to see if Carson Beck can continue to impress me and if Bowers can keep on his run that he's been on. So that'll be what I'm watching.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Let's get to a fast start. Let's get Bowers the ball early and often, and that'll set up the running game for us to be able to push it down the field. I think I think Carson's going to come back home with the renewed confidence after what he did on the road and continue to get better. We have a lot of players that haven't had a lot of in-game reps that I think still have time to blossom and become what they are supposed to be. So I'm excited to see this team keep improving. I'm tired of the heart attack games, but you know what? We come out with a win. I'll take it. So, yeah, go Dogs, and let's beat some Kentucky ass on Saturday.
Also,
And there you have it. Oh, some Braves talk. All right, yeah, there you go. But
Yeah, I
yes,
did want to mention that our Braves, and Brooks is a big fan. I am the hugest Braves fan in the world. Please don't play at the same time as Georgia on Saturday. I mean, if there's any way, that would be fantastic. But the Braves starting the playoffs on Saturday. Next game's on Monday, so we got the Braves playoff run starting. So I'm pretty damn excited about that as well.
Braves,
great season.
Georgia, and another Braves game. Falcon sandwich between a Falcons loss. Let's go.
And there you have it. Can't close out any better than that. For Bone, for the show, I'm Mr. 411. We thank everybody for tuning in. Have a good one. And you just witnessed damn good dogs. We'll see you.
The Dogs.